Hey guys, what's up? My name is Karen, and today's video is going to be part 1 of 2 of my Bookish Canada 150 celebration. So as a lot of you probably know, this Saturday, July 1st, will be Canada's 150th birthday. So to celebrate, I wanted to do a couple videos to celebrate some of the great books that Canadians have put out over the years. Today's video is actually going to be some of my favorite Canadian books that I have read in recent years. I'm pretty positive I have actually mentioned all of these books at one point or another over the course of my first few videos on my channel. So if you've been following me for a while, you will definitely recognize a lot of these books. But the main goal of today's video is just to bring recognition to some of the books that a lot of great Canadian authors have put out over the years. And I really hope that if Canadian literature hasn't been something that is on your TBR or that you've really read a lot of recently, that maybe you'll want to consider reading these in the future. So I'm just going to go right ahead and get started. I'm just going to go ahead and get the first book out of the way since it's been talked about a lot on my channel recently, and that is The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. So this, of course, is about a girl named Offred who is forced to become a handmaid for a family under this new dystopian world that she lives in. Her only purpose in life is to get pregnant and have children for families against her will. So most of you should know I actually have a review for this book, and what I love most about this book is Margaret Atwood's style of writing and just how vivid and powerful the world that she created stands in your mind while you're reading it. The next book that's one of my absolute favorite Canadian books is Milk and Honey by Rupi Kaur. This is one of the best collections of poetry I've ever read. It's just so raw and emotional and at a lot of times very relatable, so I cannot recommend her enough. The next book has been mentioned quite a bit on my channel, and that is 15 Dogs by Andre Alexis. This book is about, you guessed it, 15 dogs who end up gaining the ability to think like humans. It's such an emotional story that really makes you think, which is why I really enjoyed this book and absolutely agree with the idea that it should have been the winner of Canada Reads this year, which it was, thankfully. The next book you may have also recognized from my Canada Reads video as well as one of my haul videos, and that is Nostalgia by M.G. Visanji. This is a book that takes place in the distant future and focuses on a doctor who's trying to help his new patient who seems to be recovering memories from an old life that should have been erased, all the while he himself is starting to remember things from his old life as well. This book was such an interesting concept, and even though a lot of people didn't tend to like this, I actually decided to give it a chance, and I'm very glad I did because it was a very interesting read. The next book you may recognize from my introduction video on my channel way back in January, and that is Beautiful Losers by the late and great Leonard Cohen. This book essentially focuses on a love triangle between 3 friends, and is considered to be one of Leonard Cohen's most experimental novels ever. It is probably one of the strangest and weirdest books I've ever read, but the artistry that goes into this shows what a great creative genius Leonard Cohen was, and I'm really happy that I took the time to read this one as well. The next book that I really enjoyed was The New Normal by Ashley Little. This is the story about a girl that begins to lose her hair, all while dealing with drama in high school as well as with her home life. It was written by my advisor from my creative writing program, which is why I decided to read it in the first place. And I just absolutely love Ashley's writing style. And I love just how well she tries to avoid tropes and just keep things as real and as relatable as possible. The next is one that I mentioned so many times over the course of my BookTube channel, and that is I'm Thinking of Ending Things by Ian Reid. So this is a story about a girl that is traveling with her boyfriend Jake to go meet his parents for the first time, and the entire car ride she basically is sitting there thinking of ending things. We also find out that she has been receiving very creepy phone calls from an anonymous person, and we do know that someone has committed suicide, we just don't know who. This book was not only just so creepily addictive, but the plot twist in this is just the most insane thing I've ever read. And I cannot stop recommending this book to people. I just love it that much. And the final book on this list was the very first book I ever discussed on my channel, and that is If I Fall, If I Die by Michael Christie. This is the story about a boy named Will who has been kept indoors all his life by his agoraphobic mother, and one day he finally decides to venture out, and so many things go down from there on out. Michael Christie's writing is just so beautiful, and the story was just so gripping and so emotional. This was not a book I was expecting to like, but I'm very glad I read it because it is definitely one of my favorites. So there you guys go. Those were some of my favorite Canadian books. I really hope you enjoyed watching this video. Part 2, which is Canadian books on my TBR, will be coming out very soon, so keep an eye out for that. If you liked this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and leave a comment down below saying which of these books might have interested you. And if you'd like to see more videos like this from me, make sure you're subscribed to my channel. Again, thank you for watching. As always, spread love and don't be a troll. Bye!